Hello viewers, welcome to this tutorial. So we are implementing reading from a file, or how to access a file. Those of you who have watched my file tutorial, you know how to read, write, append to a file. If you have not, please watch it, but if you are cool with it, then just watch this one. Okay, so we're going to use error handling on reading from a file. Now, if you have an idea about files, you know that anytime you are writing or appending to a file, if the file does not exist, it creates the file by itself. So there's no problem with that. But if we are reading from a file, reading doesn't create the file. Reading is check if there is a file as such and read from it. So let's check what happens. We have a file name equals good. Okay, so there's no file I have like good in the directory. So check this out. Okay, if I come here, this is where my error handling code is. The only two files I have is countries updated and countries. There is no file like good.txt. So that is it, and I have my access mode equals read. Okay, please, I say if you have no idea about reading, please check my file tutorials under my playlist called Python Basics. You see reading from a file. Begin with the introduction and you'll be good with it. Okay, so I have with open file name access mode, okay, as my file. Then I have my file equals my file dot read. Okay, so this is what I have. If I should run this code right now, print my file, it will give me an error because there is no such file. And please, I made mention that Python is so good in handling runtime errors. Okay, so what will happen is it will prompt us that this is the error you should type. So just look at it. If I should run the code, file not found error, so good. If it is zero division error, it writes zero division error. If it is name error, it writes name error. If it is whatever error, so Python is good, it's helpful. So this is it. All I have to do is write this one, file not found error. So I'll come here, try, type, try. Okay, this is not where the problem is. With this, I'm just naming a variable, assigning it to the text I'm expecting. Okay, the document. Here I've assigned the access mode I want. This is where the problem is, because this is where it is actually reading from the file. It says check this file, open this file, but there is no file like that. Okay, with the access mode read, and it cannot read a file that does not exist. So if I run, that's why we face that error. So if I run the code, we have that error, and at the line 6, so this is where the error comes in. So we have to put the try here. Okay, so these are best practices. Don't put the try at the top. These ones have no problem. So try, then I indent them. Sorry, I indentation. Okay, indentation, then I bring my indentation here. So this is what I have. Now there is an error because the try doesn't work alone. Try does not work unless you have an except. Okay, so there's except. So except what? File not found. So they give it to me here, file not found error. Then I press enter. So Python is good. PyCharm gives you this IntelliSense as well. It's also good. Then I print the file does not exist. Sorry, does not exist. Okay, so this is what I have. So if I should run this code, the file does not exist. So these are best practices. So know how to use your try and except within almost every part of your code. Now this is my piece of advice. As I've said earlier, don't just bring it anywhere. Just put it where you want to handle the errors, then you're good to go. So you can have try and accept at somewhere else at the bottom of the code. And there is some other thing I would like to show you. If maybe after having a whole bunch of things, you have my file. Okay, so this my file is different because this one has an underscore. So let me teach you how to handle another set of errors. Okay, so this will only execute if there is a file name like this, because if I run this code, it will not execute, because I said earlier that immediately it meets an error, it skips the rest of the code. So it meets an error here, so it skips all this one, so they will not even get to this point. So let me try to create a file there, and then I create a file here. Oh, not here, create a file here. Okay, so called what? Let's see, a file, and I will name it. What is the name of the file? The name of the file, good. Okay, so good.txt. all right, meaning, and now let me try to put something within. All is good. All is good. Okay, so I have all is good within the file called good, and if I should run this code, everything works perfectly. But name error. So this is how to realize your errors. So name error means a variable error. It's different from file not found. So maybe, you know, when we're dealing with scope, And sometimes you declare variables within functions, variables outside functions that cannot be accessed somewhere else. We have local variables, okay, global variables. Those of you who learned functions and other stuff in my tutorial, so you might make a mistake and declare a variable which you've not really called somewhere. It's not like the previous tutorial where we had a variable at the finally which was not realized, but later it realized it. But this, maybe you misspelled a variable, you use a different variable, anything could happen now. So this spelling is wrong, so we can also use except then name error. Okay, so I'm just teaching you a few things. You entered a wrong value, okay, a wrong variable name. Okay, so these are just how to realize your error. So you enter the wrong variable name. Why? Because when it executes, it finds a file, so it doesn't skip, it gets here, it realizes this name is error. So please, this is how to realize the errors, the runtime errors. Check the names, you will see them if only it's a runtime error, if only it is not specified as syntax. But if I should clean this code, say syntax error, so you know it's not a runtime error. But if everything works perfectly and there is no syntax attached to it, no, I've cleaned everything. Okay, if there's no syntax attached to it, then you know that that's what it's talking about. So you see name error, okay, there's no syntax. So that is how it works. So this is it for this tutorial. Learn new things. Give any questions you have, ask and I'll answer you. Leave any comments you have as well. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Share with new friends. Like the video if it's informative for you, and ring the bell to receive every update I release. So thank you for viewing, and you're always welcome.